to Restaurant Review. I'm your host, as usual, Bob Bockelman, and it's the week before Thanksgiving. We got a little touch of the chill in the air today here in New Orleans for those who've been following us. It's a little late fall, but better late than never in our areas. And we're real pleased today because we're doing something really special. Not only do we have a fantastic musician to introduce to you in a moment, but a great new chef, but all to celebrate the wonderful restoration and reincarnation of our fabulous Roosevelt Hotel, and more importantly for the show, the Sazerac restaurant. Hopefully, we're calling it Return to the New, the Sazerac, and we're hoping that all of you will pay attention. I'm sure you'll have some fond memories. We're going to have a few pictures before, as usual, but the upcoming holiday season's coming, and I know that's a tradition where we love to go see the magnificent lobby, and all that. The restoration is just magnificent. So I'm going to let you see that, but we're going to tempt you with some of the wonderful dishes our chef has created for you. But first, let's move to our musician, and we're pleased to welcome Tim Laughlin to the show. Welcome, Tim. How are you?
Thank you, Bob. Good to be here.
Appreciate it. And the reason why we chose Tim is not just because of his talent, but also he is the latest creation at the Roosevelt in the Blue Room. Isn't that right?
That's correct. Yeah, we're doing a Sunday brunch every Sunday, and then this New Year's Eve I'll be there with my 7-piece band.
Wow. How important that is. Remember, some of the people don't even know the Blue Room. It's been closed not only since Katrina, so long before. I remember years ago when Leon Kellner a little bit had his orchestra and played, and so Tim's band's going to recreate that for the holidays for us. But right now he's appearing every Sunday. Every Sunday at brunch directly in the Blue Room. Excellent, excellent. Well, we have a copy of Tim's latest. I don't know if we get a close-up there because it blends in my coat, but latest copy of his CD entitled, what's the title? Royal Street what?
Royal Street Serenade.
Royal Street Serenade. Beautifully done. He, a local artist did the cover for him, and really very well done. And he is a native. We're always glad to have our native sons here. That's right. And this is his 11th CD, so this won't be the first one, but you want to try. He also has a website for those who actually want to contact us, see more. Do you have, what kind of stuff do you have on your website?
I just have pictures, my schedule, and how to get the CDs. I have all
Good. I was going to say, I'm hoping you give some direction on how to merchandise the CDs. And why don't you go ahead and tell them the website name?
It's timlaughlin.com.
And that's, go ahead.
Last name is Laughlin.
Yeah, that's the key, folks. It's pronounced Laughlin, but it's spelled LAUGHLIN.com.
That's right.
Okay. All right, well, enough about hearing from me. The best thing is we want to hear from Tim. What are you going to do for your first number?
I'm going to do Royal Street Serenade.
Excellent.
One of my compositions.
Thank you. Very, very nice. That was Tim Lachlan. And as we said, you can catch him live and in the flesh at the Blue Room on Sundays during the brunch. And Tim, I know we said that you had some other, we really cheated you. Next time you come back on for the second song, before you introduce it, let's say where else people can see you. We want them obviously to catch you over a beautiful meal on a Sunday. What better, especially getting up to the holidays. But in case people are night owls, want to see you at one of the clubs or one of the other performances, right before you do your second song, why don't you announce where else you're coming up? Because we did cheat you, then I apologize. But meanwhile, we want to move in. I guess I was getting hungry myself thinking about all the wonderful food we're going to see. And as I mentioned that we're so pleased that the Roosevelt has returned to us in just a magnificent state. I know with all the media coverage, most of you are aware of the fantastic job that's been done to uncovering some of the secrets of the past that are just magnificent jewels to make the hotel really the shining star of our city. And if no other reason, holidays, you got to go stroll down that lobby to reminisce and then hopefully stop in at the Sazerac or the Blue Room, Sazerac Bar, or even the coffee shop. And then there's another restaurant, John Besh, is open that we may be having on in the future as well. But meanwhile, let's go ahead and introduce you to the Sazerac's new executive chef, Chef STEFAN HAUT. Stefan, welcome to the program.
Bob, good to see you.
Great, great. Tell us, the folks, a little bit about yourself. And then we'll move forward.
Yeah, I'm originally from Germany and came to the States 12 years ago.
What city, may we ask?
Cologne, okay. Yeah. And I worked throughout Germany for 13 years.
Wow.
In the business. I went to hotellerie school '84 and then worked my way up and became executive chef beginning of the 90s and then came to the States '97.
Wow.
And started with a company in Florida and then moved back and forth. And I'm at since 7 months with the Roosevelt, and I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, great. And also you have brought back to us with you, who worked with you at your previous, one of our local own, who's your sous chef, is that right?
Yeah, my executive sous chef is from here, and we work together at a different company in Miami. Yes.
So we owe you double thanks. One, coming down yourself to reopen this magnificent restaurant, and two, to bring home a native son to let him have a share as well.
Yeah. I'm responsible for the whole operation at the Roosevelt, and of course,
and that's a lot.
The Sazerac, yes.
That's a lot.
Yeah, we have big banquet spaces. We have, like you said earlier with Tim, the Blue Room, and we have the Sazerac Bar, and then Sazerac and Teddy's as well.
Yeah, we took some liberties and took some additional pictures of the entrance to the Sazerac, the magnificent sound. Hopefully we're going to start seeing some of those because as you first walk in, for those who remember, as you walk in, you really don't walk directly into the restaurant. You really walk into a magnificent bar, and that is called the Sazerac Bar. Is that right?
That's correct, yes.
Just loaded with magnificent woods and leather. There's a wonderful seating area, foyer that you can wait or drink over, as well as just a magnificent S-curved bar that runs the length of the room with the restored paintings that are just days of the WPA. There's the entrance to the door. Look at that magnificent signature of above the gold-plated door going into the to the restaurant and really through the bar. And you're going to see some of these things we're talking about. The bar itself is truly the epitome of what bars should be. Today it's more what's on the bar, not how the bar looks. This is just the opposite. This is the extreme luxury, just the old-time relaxing. I happen to sit in there. The lovely young ladies who are the bartenders are very hospitable and making everyone feel comfortable. So it's just really a lovely place to gather. And like I said, whether you decide to have a couple of cocktails before going into the restaurant or wait, if you should have to wait. Right now I think we don't have to wait too much. I think with the holidays might be the problem. But you can truly be in a magnificently comfortable setting and getting anything you want along the lines. And then as you see now, these are still some of the bar pictures. We're going to actually take a trip actually through the actual side doors into the restaurant itself, and you're going to be in for a big surprise. I remember the old days when the Sazerac was very Victorian with the heavy velvets and the others. We're still talking about luxury, but we're talking about contemporary luxury today. You see, Chef, tell us a little bit more details about how many you seat, what are the hours of operation, and just basics of the restaurant itself while we're looking at the photos.
Yeah, we're opening for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're opening at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And then until
That's
11.
a long day.
No, that's our business. That's what we like to do.
So breakfast is served 7 days a week.
Yeah, we open for 7 days a week. Yes.
6 to about when?
6 to 11, and
11.
then from 11:30 to 2:30.
So you only have a half an hour difference between start and lunch.
You just turn the
Wow.
restaurant, and we have lunch, and then we're going into dinner from 5:30 to 10 p.m. Yeah.
Wow, fantastic. And what do you know approximately how many is the the Sazerac seats in the
we have 89 seats, but we have after that we do, like, the reservation's going to be staggered. We can do up to 200 for either lunch or dinner or breakfast.
What I love is that you've taken a large room, obviously, and made it so intimate. You've got the way your seating's arranged. Like, I know there's even in the center on the rear wall by the kitchen is this magnificent long dining for a large group with a painting. It's just like being in your own dining room.
Yes, that's correct.
And then you have across from that are these wonderful, big, comfortable love seats that are made into separate seatings with back-to-back right next. You don't even realize you're right next to another group. So it really is very well planned out so that you're not feeling so uncomfortable, cluttered, that you're in a huge room if it's really crowded.
That's correct.
So I think the designers really did a wonderful job in laying that out, not only functionally but also aesthetically, so that the diner can feel real comfortable in that setting.
We have the original wooden floor restored, so it's very, very nice.
You see, I didn't notice the floors, and I'm trying to remember way back. So they are all wooden floors.
Yes.
Fantastic.
But it was the Fremont Times. They had carpets over it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We also in the lobby lounge, you have the original mosaic floors from 1920s.
Right, I know.
That's what makes it so special. They pulled the ceilings down and put air-conditioned systems in. We ripped that all out, and so you have the original height, what it was in the 1920s, with the original chandeliers, and that makes it so beautiful.
Yeah. See, I don't remember the Sazerac other than carpeted, so that's why I don't know why I didn't take note of that right away, because it's got to be a magnificent difference. But I did see the fantastic mosaic tiles, and of course, just the be able to look up and see this magnificent height on the ceiling is just so refreshing, because it definitely looks like a true belle of that turn of the century that has just been all along. So it's hard to think that it's been shut down or changed or all the other things that we've had problems with it. So it's such a crowning glory to have it reopened. So we're open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
That's correct, in Sazerac, yes.
Okay. Now, reservations required, obviously for the holidays, is reservations required for any of the evening meals?
It's always recommended, of course.
Recommended, okay. And of course, they could just call the hotel and ask for the Sazerac, and you have someone who will take those recommendations. Okay. All right. The best thing for us to do now, folks, is to let you take a look at some of the wonderful new food that Chef is creating there. He's got contemporary flair, but some of the old basics and some of the New Orleans standards done with a new twist. I don't know if I'm misrepresenting. With the Louisiana twist. Very good. Okay, let's take a look, see what's our first pick. Now, what we've done is, because of the three meals, we've really taken extracts from all three. So rather, we didn't go all the way on breakfast, all the way on lunch and dinner. This was from the breakfast menu?
That's from the breakfast menu. There's our fruit plate with a grilled banana bread. It's very nice, colorful, and of course on the healthy side. And then the banana bread gives you a little bit more deepness.
A little substance,
It's very nice.
Magnificent. You've got the gorgeous strawberries. I think you had blueberries, blackberries. Anything else I missed?
We have different kind of melons and some
melon.
pineapple and the berries.
Absolutely. And really, this could someone order this for lunch as well? Because I see a lot of the, even though it really this is like
Absolutely,
lunch
we
and
do.
dessert together.
We never say no.
Never
Anything
say
you
no.
like,
That's
absolutely.
because it's perfect, for especially when not so much as it was getting to the colder months, but certainly for the summer. Nothing, a light lunch like this with a little bit of sweetness on the banana bread is more than what someone needs. I know. I wish I could limit myself to those kind of small portions and those kind of light portions, not small. All right, so there we got a beautiful fresh fruit, berries, and melons with some lovely toasted banana bread. So what a nice way for breakfast. Let's see. Let's take a look. I think we got one or two more breakfast items that we're going to go ahead and show for you, huh? What's next?
And then we also can add, we're going to start our new menu for Saturday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's talk about that.
In front of us, we're going to start on Friday with dinner, and then from Saturday on, we have it fully, all the new items.
Okay, this is Friday. This Friday.
This Friday, yes.
Oh, okay. So, folks, when you're seeing this, you're getting advanced information of the change, and most of these dishes are going to be on the new menu. Is that
yes,
right?
everything we did for you was from the new menu.
I thought I understood
that. Some of the items are still from the older one, but we're refreshing.
Right.
We're not going to do everything new, but most of them are new dishes. Yes.
Our new dish. Okay. All right. Meanwhile, the director had showed us a little farther aerial view straight down on that great fruit plate. But I think we've got a waffle coming. Oh,
yes.
Folks, now I call this a dessert waffle because I remember in the old days I used to order waffles for dessert at any time of the night at the places that used to serve breakfast. And I'd put a big load of ice cream, which people would look at me because that's why I weigh the what I weigh. But so it would make it so sweet, and I would have the banana and the nuts and the whole deal. This was so close and reminiscent, even though it wasn't ice cream. Tell us about this wonderful waffle.
Yeah, this is special for us. We put that also on the new menu. It's a hazelnut waffle with blueberry cream and Nutella. People love Nutella. It's a hazelnut cream coming from Europe.
Let's tell some of the people who might not know what Nutella is.
It's very big in Germany, and it's a hazelnut cream. It's like nougat or
like a nougat.
Sweeter chocolate, and it's soft.
Yeah,
and
that's
we drizzle it over the blackberry cream, and the combination with the crispy waffle and the hazelnuts. We have some toasted hazelnuts on top. It's really cool. I love that a lot.
Fantastic. I mean, like I say, it's the consistency of the you hit it right on the nose. It's soft. It's not soft like when ice cream gets soft. It's much more. It still stays together. Great flavor. The hazelnut flavor is just superb, and I love blackberries. And mixing it with blueberries, which is really not one of my favorites, I was surprised.
No, but
it was delicious. It was a great
nice.
combination. So, folks, whether, like I say, this could be breakfast, more than a breakfast. I would love this at night for dinner, or certainly as a dessert to share among some other people. Cut them into quarters, because it really is an excellent waffle. So that's a hazelnut waffle. All right. Again, we're talking to Chef STEFAN HAUT from the new Sazerac. And we didn't say, but of course our followers of the show know that we always open our phone lines. So if anyone's out there want to talk to Chef about the Sazerac, because I know we all should be giving him tremendous plaudits, even though he wasn't the main inspiration about the hotel renovation, but certainly he had a great hands-on in the restaurant renovation. So don't hesitate to give us a call and any question you might have, especially with the holiday seasons coming up. We're going to talk a little bit about that near the end of the show, the special events and things coming up at the hotel and specifically at the restaurant. All right, if not, then let's go ahead and see if we can move on to another picture. And I think now we're moving into this is lunch and dinner. That's
lunch and dinner appetizer. Yeah, that's our oyster Sazerac. We have 3 different kind.
Let's talk about this first of all. Maybe we can, folks, you can see you got 3 magnificent oysters on the half shell. And why don't we go reading left to right so people can follow with you. Let's talk about the first one there on the left of the screen. Sir.
That's on the left is the Benville.
Okay, and let's tell people, for those who don't know what Benville is.
Benville is crab meat and shrimp, and as well then on top with hollandaise and baked. Of course, with the oyster, in the middle we have the Rockefeller.
The traditional Rockefeller, which is so
we're using nice garlic spinach and a little bit jalapeno, a little bit Parmesan on top, nicely baked. And then we have Pierre on the right-hand side, what is Parmigiano and the oyster itself and some herbs. And some breadcrumbs. And then on the left we have a little bit a combination with the lemon,
right,
and a little bottle of our Louisiana Tabasco.
Absolutely, the greatest touch. See the detail level here, folks? I mean, I have not seen a bottle this small, a working, functional bottle of Tabasco or hot sauce in the city. So they have gone to an extra degree, I guess, to work with the folks. Maybe even they have a design for them. But what a perfect touch to put the lemon and, of course, the Tabasco. They got that hot sauce on. And these, you know, we've just gone through a real scare and debacle here with the oyster industry, with the FDA coming down on us, trying to eliminate the raw oyster from us. And even though these were raw at some time, they're all cooked. Still, the oyster is such a pride and joy of Louisiana diners that
Absolutely.
it would be a crime. But there's no need to worry about it. Fortunately, the decision came down, at least temporarily, to halt that move. And thank goodness for it, because we're able to taste these magnificent oysters. And what's good for this is a sample plate. For those who's never had any oyster, particular oyster that cooked like this, they can try each one of them. Each one of them.
And some people, they like just one, and then they order just the one. That's fine.
Right.
Do anything they like for.
Yeah, that's what's good about it. So you hear what Chef says. See how the flexibility is so important here. So if you wanted just Rockefeller, he would do all three.
Absolutely.
But this is for the really adventure or for the novice, one of the two, where you want to taste all that he's got, or you want to sample something that you've never had.
It's a nice combination.
Nice, great combination. Okay, let's move on. And this, if it's what I'm thinking of, the next appetizer, which is really served as a side, is going to be one of the most delightful things. Even though you'll recognize, what does that look to you, folks? Oh, it looks like fries, huh?
That's correct.
Absolutely the most unique, the most delightful tasting fries you have ever tasted. We got a couple of pictures here with the dipping sauce. Let's talk about these and tell them for the folks how different these fries really are.
Those are truffle fries dusted with Parmesan cheese and some chopped parsley, and then we have a cilantro aioli on the side with this. And this is something, when you first time taste it, it just blows you away. It's the smell already from the truffle oil.
Yeah, let's talk about it. People are going to wonder, well, how do you get truffles in potatoes? But you're actually using the truffle oil.
Yeah,
yes.
You're using a white truffle oil, and the aroma is just great, and then the crispiness of the fries, and
right.
And that was interesting what you said too, where we tasted everything together. The combination with the cilantro aioli, you liked a lot, and
tremendous.
And I think that is what makes it really round. And we serve that also for lunch and dinner, and it is a side for all our sandwiches when you would like to have regular fries or the truffle fries. As well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, folks. I mean, if you're watching your diet, which of course I'm not and should be, then you share this with some of your diners, because it is a wonderful portion. But the thing
often
is,
our guests just order it as an appetizer for the table.
For the table, that's what I say.
They like it, and
we're featuring it.
Really
we're saying
popular.
it's a side, but we're also saying it's an appetizer.
No,
what better way to share it
Yeah.
with the folks that you're dining with? And I'm telling you, you won't grab for ketchup like we. If you do, you're insulting yourself as well as the chef, because once you taste this dip, I mean, it's just unless you're really allergic to cilantro or something. But the aioli, instead of going with the hot, some of the people in the Asian are doing wasabi aioli, the real spicy. This is absolutely. It's cool. It's so cooling because it's got those Caribbean kind of flavors infused into it. So matching that with the nice crispy, crunchy hot potato, it's just a dynamite combination. So you might find yourself, filling up on this if you tried to eat this by yourself. It's not really recommended as a one-person dish, even though I could devour the whole plate. Okay, let's move on, and I think we've got something else for you, and see what we got here. We've got to have, folks, a restaurant in New Orleans would not be a restaurant without a traditional gumbo. And I mean, I'm going to let Chef tell you what's in his gumbo, and then I'm going to give you my comments on it.
It is our seafood gumbo. We have, of course, local oysters, shrimp, crab, tasso, smoked andouille, and okra in it. And then we top it off with a little bit popcorn rice and some of scallions, what gives it a little bit color. But where we tasted it, and I showed you the oyster size, and it's just, it is the combination
You're taking my
of the
comments.
spice.
Go ahead. You're cheating me of any comment. Go ahead. I'll find something to say.
No.
Please finish. No, they would rather hear it from you than me.
No,
Go ahead.
it's just right now we got some of the size of the oysters unbelievable. They're like And the combination with the spices in the soup is just really, really nice.
Really fair. Absolute, folks. When I use a term that's very rarely used on gumbo, and that's loaded. And that's exactly what this is loaded to bear, because the quantity of seafood that's in there, and especially, as he mentioned, I don't know how many oysters are in there, but they're so big, it's a wonder you got any broth in there. And so, as we just following up on our conversation about having the wonderful New Orleans oysters, Louisiana oysters, I mean, this dish would be remiss without having that, because it truly, many of the seafood gumbos, I can barely find an oyster, if at all, let alone more than one. They're the tiniest and usually few and far between. So you usually will load up on the shrimp or one of the other, the other more more plentiful ingredient.
Last week is where you asked me, so you're making a traditional brown roux, and I told you no, it's out of a pack. Of course, everything is done from scratch. We do all those things in house, and everything is fresh, made for you.
Chef has a wonderful sense of humor. You have to get. I remember the.
You got to get used to it.
When you got to get used to it, because I remember when I first met him, I asked him a little bit about his ethnicity, and he told me, "Well, I'm just from Texas," and of course, I must have turned as red as my Crocs that I'm wearing today. At the same time, he's just got a fabulous sense of humor, and today that's what it is. As you all know, that's the purpose of this show. One of the main purposes is to actually let you hear and see the personality of the chef. In the old days, the poor chefs well, I guess they might have liked it better, but they were holed up in their kitchen, and they didn't have all the grief of being a physical persona. Today,
times change, believe me.
Times have changed, and thank goodness
I
we
went
got
all through that stuff.
And I just hope and I'm sure he will. I haven't been when the normal folks are eating dinner yet, but I just hope he gets a chance to bring himself out and his humor to meet the crowds, because I think they will certainly welcome him to the city, because that kind of humor is few and far between.
Don't come in the kitchen.
Just don't come in the kitchen, folks. You heard it directly. Remember, he's got a big selection of knives. That's what I always remember. Okay, Chef, let's take a look. We've just talked about a magnificent gumbo, and I don't know, do you have any other soups? I don't know. Huh?
Yeah, no, we do a soup of the day every day.
Yeah, let's tell
a different kind of soup.
Just tell a few of the unusual ones that you've
potato
done.
leek with truffle, or we're going to do a barley and beef and things like that. So
that would be great with the winter, with the cold weather coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fabulous.
Absolutely.
Well, there you go. I didn't even realize that. I don't know why I didn't.
No, we do every day a different soup, every single day.
Excellent. Well, soup is my ballyho. I love it. So, and especially now that we get into the colder months, even though I eat the cold soups during the summer, I love it. But so this will really be good, folks. So if you once you try the gumbo, or if you don't like seafood for some reason or allergic, then let's often find out from the chef or the wait
Like on
staff.
Sunday brunch, we serve a chicken gumbo.
Chicken gumbo.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's really nice. And then we do it once in a while. We do when we have a special event upgraded to a seafood gumbo. But it is every day we do something different.
Yeah.
But the seafood okra gumbo is just so popular, and we don't want to take it off the menu.
Well, yeah, no, please don't, because especially the way you're presenting it now, it's just perfect for the folk. The natives are just going to go wild over it, because it really is a loaded seafood gumbo. And emphasis has moved a lot away to the fowl, to the turkey, or the other gumbo a lot. And it's a shame, because the traditional is always there. But I guess it's because it's come so common in many restaurants, and maybe not as satisfying as the dish that you present. Mm. So I'm hoping that you'll return those people who've been delegating to something else. But again, it's great to have another soup for the person who is maybe allergic to seafood. And certainly, I know if I'd be there, I'd do several soups. So that's great. All right, now let's look at. I think we have some salads, because of course we've got to have salads. This is again a strange, I want to say a hybrid. I don't want to say strange, that's a bad word. I consider this more of an appetizer, but it's really a cross between an appetizer salad.
And it is this one is from the dinner menu, actually. It's our organic spinach salad.
Okay.
With warm boudin, devil egg, and we have a little bit truffle on the devil egg and Creole mustard vinaigrette.
So let's talk about it. First of all, we're talking about spinach, is that right?
Yes.
And
then baby spinach, and then we have some on top. You see some marinated red onions.
Wonderful.
They're pickled.
Beautiful onions. They were just so sweet and really tasteful. And then, folks, what could get more southwestern or part of our Cajun country than boudin? I call it boudin balls. He didn't call it that, I guess maybe because it doesn't sound proper. he hasn't gotten totally to our mix yet. But anyway,
no, they look like boudin balls.
There you
right,
go.
yeah.
But the flavor was really great. So what better idea than bringing the Southwest part of the Cajun tradition, just like the gumbo, here to New Orleans, add to this. So instead of having fried oysters, and I'm sure if you wanted fried oysters, he would do that, because I know that's got to be a very popular salad. But try this once first, and then to take the ordinary deviled egg, which of course is usually your appetizer at your events, and elevate it with the addition of the truffle. It just really brings it to new steps. So we're talking about a first-class salad, appetizer, whatever you want to call it, using, as he says, Louisiana ingredients to really emphasize where the hotel and the restaurant is. So I'm hoping that our tourists will realize now how much this hotel not only means to the economic growth of our city and the restaurant, but to the return to the food that we grew up on. I mean, it's great that we've gone in so many directions. There's no reason why we have so many chefs out there doing wonderful, but at the same time, it's always good to preserve our roots and to keep them at the level they should be. So that's what I'm saying, folks, and this is why you need to go there, to return not only to the Roosevelt, but to return to the Sazerac. Okay, again, we're here with Chef Stefan Kaut. We've got a few more minutes before we return to Tim. And let's see where else. We've got a couple more people. Again, if you wish to call, don't hesitate. Our director, I know, puts the numbers on the screen periodically, and you can call in and ask us any question. But let's see what else we got. I think we might have. Do we have another salad?
That's a tomato salad, yeah.
Wow.
Right now we have a vine-ripe tomato salad on for the lunch. And when the Creole tomato season comes, of course, we have Creole tomatoes.
Now, this is lunch only or dinner only?
That's lunch only.
Okay.
Yeah. And
tell us about this magnificent. Again, the picture. Well, the picture we're seeing on the monitor is discolored, but I know the one you're seeing is much better with regard to the vibrancy of the color of the tomato, and the taste is there as well. But once again, he's saying he's not going to keep that when he can find our normal Creole tomatoes.
No, absolutely.
When you got those, he's going to bring those in because everyone knows there's the taste.
And it's pretty much the same salad. It's just that we use
the color might not be so much there with the Creole, but the taste is going to be surprising.
Oh, yeah.
And what else do we have? What kind of dressing? What else do we have? We have organic shrimp and all on here.
Yeah, organic greens, and then we have cayenne spice peanuts and Creole mustard vinaigrette. And what we have in front a little bit is basil oil, and then the Creole mustard vinaigrette over the tomatoes. And then you can choose, either you have the tomato salad, or you can have local lump crab meat, marinated Gulf shrimp, what you see on this picture, pepper jelly glazed chicken, or fresh mozzarella as well, as an addition to, so you can make at lunchtime a full meal out of it.
Oh my goodness!
That is the whole idea. That we serve our salads for lunchtime. When you just like a larger salad, that's what your entree is going to be.
Oh, especially like the tourists or the conventioneers who are eating light between their sessions, they can't go to sleep, so they got to eat light. What a perfect meal! And so you're saying, of course, we saw those are grilled shrimp, right?
Yes.
But you're saying
correct.
You could substitute with lump crab meat.
Lump crab meat.
And what else? Chicken. What did you do with the chicken? I didn't hear that.
We marinated in pepper jelly.
Ah, fantastic! So what a great, and then of course substitution for the Creoles when those Creoles come back in. So again, and right now lunch only though, right? That's
the tomato salad. Yes, it's lunch only. But like I said earlier, we do anything.
If you
all
sweet
time
talk
around.
to staff.
Oh yeah, just be nice to me and you get anything you like.
There you go. That's the key. All right, so we've seen a appetizer salad, which is really served as entree. We've seen this magnificent salad, which can be an entree or a side. I think we're going to actually move into the entrees because we need to. I think we got a couple of them before we switch it back to Tim. Let's see what's next.
There's another appetizer as well.
Right.
We have on the dinner menu.
Right. This was a dinner appetizer, and
that's the crispy Creole crab cake. And we have a horseradish, celery.
I think we got a close. I hope we got. Director, let's see. I think we have one more picture that's a little closer up because it's a beautiful shot from here. But that way, you're going to see a little bit more of the detail. Do we have another one on this one? And why don't we? It's a little
beautiful.
better.
It's a beautiful salad with horseradish, celery hearts, and green apples. And the green apple, the crispiness, the acidity of the green apple, and
what's in the crab cake itself? Besides, of course, crab. I know you put something out.
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, okay. I should have known.
No, we have some peppers in there, and
Well, what's good about it, what I'm saying is that, unfortunately, crab cake, which has been a long-standing tradition in New Orleans, has again been, let me see the word, deteriorated with, or adulterated with fillings.
yeah, and that's what we're not doing.
Oh, my goodness. They're like old time in grammar school, they had codfish cakes, which were frozen and so much. I mean, it gags you, but it's so dry.
All fresh,
Yeah,
local crab meat.
And I think what I'm saying, it's turned off a lot of people because they've gotten the really bad run-of-the-mill crab cake. They might be large, and they might look like a
No, this is really, really
pancake.
nice
No,
stuff,
but who
so.
cares if the
Yeah.
taste is bad? If
Absolutely.
you're eating just fill,
Yeah.
who cares? The important thing here, folks, is you're eating real crab meat, and that taste alone is what's so important. And as he mentioned, the celery and the green apple. I mean, you wouldn't think, okay, well, I put that combination. They're both crunchy, they're both green.
A little bit sour cream, and then the horseradish is just beautiful. It's absolutely magnificent. And then the crispiness and the acidity
Right.
with the crab cake, it's just a great combination.
Absolutely. So you got the sweetness of the apple, the crunchiness about the apple, and then you've got the horseradish giving it the other tartness. So you've got everything working for it. So it's an explosion in your mouth. I think it is truly a wonderful representation of a crab cake. So forget about those things you're having at some of these regular places. If you're looking for quantity, not quality, then perhaps you'll pass on this crab cake. But if you want to taste a real crab cake, this is where to delight. Okay, now, I'm hoping we're starting on those entrees because I know we only have a few minutes left and Tim's coming on. So let's see what we got, Mr. Director. Oh, here's the other crab cake. Other close-up. Here we go. This is a magnificent fish dish. I called it a Napoleon because it was stacked so many layers.
Yes.
Tell us about it, Chef, please.
We're doing a local fish of the day, and in this case we use black drum. And we do every fish of the day on the same ingredients. We have a dirty rice and an okra tomato stew with this one, and lamb crab meat. And it's just the combination with the okra, the lamb crab, and the tomatoes is just great. It's very refreshing. It's not heavy at all. It's just really, really nice.
Yeah, when we were growing up, again, the Creole, the Cajun, really more the Cajun style, they would just call this stewed tomatoes. My mother would always say, we're going to have stewed tomatoes. I kept saying, ugh. What is that? But it was always wonderful because it was the okra cooked down long with the tomato, giving it just a wonderful blend of those two ingredients. And now he's got that, and he's putting it over what better rice but dirty. Instead of putting it on just plain old white rice, he's got dirty rice underneath it and lump crab meat on top. So you can't get a better selection of ingredients to put together. And then the fish of the day, as he said, it's going to be whatever he's going to get. Again, he's talking about local. Here's a wonderful aerial view.
We have a little bit crispy sweet onions on top, and then also shaved scallions. So it's a really, really nice
and
rounded
like
fish.
I say, whether you're looking from the top or the bottom. The bottom, you get the side, you get an idea of what we're talking about being the layers, because as it stacks up, it's just fantastic. But what a whole meal, and it's beautiful to having your fish, your rice, your stew, and just onions. All right, we only have 2 minutes, Chef, so we're not going to be doing justice to your last entree before we turn it over to Tim. So we've got a wonderful entree here, and let's see, for those, we have fish, so we've got to have some fowl. Let's talk about what we've got going here.
We have a beautiful airline chicken breast, what we marinate in a local amber beer, and it's really nice. We do it with a oyster andouille dressing.
Yeah, let's
poached
take
asparagus.
this slow for the folks that know. First of all, so are you roasting the chicken? How are you preparing the chicken
Yes,
itself?
we marinate it first in the
First
beer.
in the wonderful. That's what, folks, see the color. You can see the skin and also the sauce.
Yes,
it's just inundated. I mean, not to make you drunk, obviously not. But I mean,
That's
the
special
beer
enough for
flavor, that
German, not
amber
enough.
color is just superb because it just brings out all the beauty of the chicken as well as the flavor, the juices. So we're marinating it with the amber beer, and then we're roasting it, or what are we doing with the chicken?
Yes, we roast it.
Beautiful chicken breast. And then Then he's serving in, what are the sides
Oyster
again?
dressing.
Oyster dressing.
And it's just a great andouille is in there as well. And then we have
in your oyster dressing, you get some andouille.
Yes.
So again, taking another ingredient. Now, that's always the debate around Christmas and Thanksgiving. If we do turkey, do we stuff it with rice dressing the French way, or we do it oyster dressing the other way? And most people wind up flipping the ball. So here, folks, you can have one dish, the fish dish with the dirty rice dressing, or here you can have the magnificent oyster dressing. And again, using the local produce by putting the andouille sausage with the flavor. For those who know andouille, which I know everyone out there does, you can imagine how great that adds to the taste of the dressing. Okay. We just about reached our time on the entree. You know, we stop at the entree. And again, we only served you 2 entrees, folks, so it's really a disservice. But again, we had to do what we could during our time. We're going to come back to you and show you at least one dessert, I think just one magnificent dessert, and talk about some of the special events, because that's what we really want to get to you, so that way you can go ahead and try these things in person. But again, when we come back, we're going to continue with Chef STEFAN Kaut of the new Sazerac, open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, with only small breaks in between that. So call up, and you're going to need those reservations the closer and closer we're getting to holidays, and we're only 1 week away from Thanksgiving.
That's correct.
So go ahead and what a treat to your family at the holidays. I know you're going to have your big dinner prepared if you're not going to eat with them, but what a nice thing sometime on the weekend, either go to that brunch and hear Tim and try the food, or come to one Sazerac and try what a magnificent meal there. All right, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and shift, and we're going to hear our friend Tim Laughlin, and Tim's going to tell us where people, besides coming on every Sunday and checking him out at that wonderful brunch at the Blue Room, could tell us where else locally, in case you, in the night scene, can see him somewhere before he introduces his second song. Okay, Tim, where we can see you?
Okay, Bob. There's a great club on Bourbon Street I've been doing for about a year and a half, and it's actually a European jazz club. It's called Fritzl's, and it was originally owned by a German from Stuttgart.
How far down on Bourbon?
It's 733 Bourbon, right across from the Bourbon Orleans.
And what nights are you there?
And I'm there every Monday from 9 to midnight, and I've got my quartet, and it's been a lot of fun. And I have something special coming up. It's in coordination with the Roosevelt. It's Home for the Holidays on Canal Street, and this is going to feature my band and Jeremy Davenport.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to get the two guys playing in clubs, and we're going to have special guests like Kermit Ruffins will probably stop by, and so I'm probably going to open it, and that's December 5th.
And where is this going to be?
And it's going to be on the corner of Elks and Canal, and there's a parade before. And it starts around 12:30 after the parade, so it's December 5th.
Now, is that
on
the
Saturday.
Santa parade?
I'm sorry?
Is that the Santa Claus parade, or what's the parade for?
No, it's just in coordination with the Canal Street.
Because I think last year the Canal Street and the Roosevelt, which wasn't even open, sponsored the return of the Santa parade on Canal Street.
Yeah, I think
but I don't know
this
if
might
that's it or not. That's what I'm trying to find out.
I think it might be different. It's
okay.
different, but the Roosevelt is sponsoring this as well.
Great.
And my band will be there.
So that's 6:30, and on December the 5th, that's...
No, actually, it's 12:30 in the afternoon. The parade starts around 11.
And that's a Saturday.
Yeah, and it's going to be a corner of Elks and Canal.
Wonderful.
And they're bringing back shopping on Canal Street. And
oh yeah, we got to get that back. That's the next thing. That blight there has got to improve with regard to retail.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's hear from you, because I know the folks want to hear your music.
I'm going to do another tune that I wrote, a fun little Latin tinge called "The Isle of Orleans."
Tim Locklear. I really enjoyed that one. That was kind of very melodic, but got a lot of jazz, real toe tapper, jazz influence a little bit to it.
Joe Morton would call it a Latin tinge.
There you go. There you go. You hit it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying. Really, I was just going with my toe here. That was really great. And we get folks, that's Tim Locklear. Remember, he's at the Blue Room every Sunday. And a couple of those other places, that great parade on December 5th. And we're going to hear him, and he'll remind you one more time. He's going to do one more song at the end of the show. But let's go ahead and come on back because we need to finish with Chef here so we can really whet the appetite. And we've seen most of his food. We're getting for the pièce de résistance. We only concentrated on one dessert because, Mr. Director, pay attention here because this is really a process. We have 3 pictures of the dessert. And, of course, it couldn't be more traditional than bread pudding. What could be more traditional for dessert for New Orleans? However, the flavor, the look, and the taste and the process of this is going to blow your mind. It's totally different than the traditional, typical bread pudding that you do. First of all, I think it's called rum raisin. It's going to give you more details. And then we're going to show you, first of all, the picture. There you go. Look at that. Now, that doesn't look like bread pudding, does it, folks? Not only because of strawberries, but looking down on that. I mean, it's big. It looks like a big old chocolate cap or something, a mushroom. Tell us, folks, Chef, about this bread pudding. And as we move to the second step, when you come out tableside, is that right?
Yes, that's
correct.
correct.
And you put the next step, but I don't want to spoil it for you. Tell us about it.
We have the bread pudding on the bottom, and we have some caramelized bananas on top, and then we cover it with a chocolate dome.
That's a chocolate dome, yes.
Yes, and then we serve it with a caramel rum raisin sauce.
There
what
it
is hot.
All right, now let's take it to step 2, Mr. Director, please, and you're going to see what we're doing. So we're taking this beautiful creation with this gorgeous chocolate Superdome top, and we're going to put there it is. Look what's happening, folks. It's
so under the chocolate dome, we have vanilla ice cream, and the
Okay.
hot sauce comes, melts the dome, and then everything gets together. And then you eat it pretty much with the...
Okay, let's take our third. So you see the wonderful hot sauce coming down to start melting not only the ice cream but the chocolate. And let's take a look at the third thing, which is really I won't say it's probably the ugliest of the pictures because of it. There you go. Kind of destroyed. So the kids ought to love this. Wonderful to watch. The children love presentations like this. But flavor and taste, what a wonderful idea. Just a great... This is your creation, sir?
No, it's from our chef, from the pastry chef.
From the pastry chef.
But we're working all hand in hand together.
Oh, of course. But this is really, it's a bombastic dessert.
It's a nice presentation. It's entertainment. It's all about entertainment nowadays anyway.
That's exactly right. But also the taste. The addition of the ice cream and the chocolate as opposed to just putting chocolate chips in it.
The hot and ice and cold. And,
right.
It's always, it's nice.
Absolutely.
It's really nice.
Absolutely. Okay. Now, that's all we have to show you picture-wise, folks. But let's talk a little bit about, we showed you those magnificent pictures of the Sazerac bar. As we say, you come in, and you could certainly while away a long time, if necessary, there, whether you're waiting or just to be in the bar. The ladies there, and I'm sure there's others at nighttime, are extremely talented, can do any of the drinks, especially the namesake, the Sazerac, which of course is so traditional. If you've never had one of those, you need to try it. I know the young ladies and the young people today, they're in all these concoctions of every type of mojito or martini you can think of. And those are nice, and it's nice for the variety. And I'm sure these ladies probably can do something. But sometimes, once again, it's nice to return to your roots. And here's a drink that was actually established at this bar. Yes. And God knows when it was, probably early 1900s. I don't even know.
1943, I think.
Before the war, right during the war. So what better way than, in fact, the gentlemen that were there that day while I was waiting to see Chef were from out of town. And first they were going to have a beer. And the young lady said, well, have you ever had it? I said, well, what is the Sazerac? We thought that was just the name. She went in, they both tried it. They couldn't believe something they had never really heard or tried from wherever they were from, and were totally delighted with the suggestion.
It's a rye whiskey, and we also established the Miss Sazerac, what is an 18-year-old rye whiskey, what is a little upgrade of the Sazerac, and quite popular as well. And we have a different glass for that as well, and it's really, really nice.
A lot of pomp and circumstance.
Oh, yeah.
And the important thing we want to impress not only about that drink, folks, is that They have a magnificent. They have a wine list for you. And of course, all this is going to be coming, from the bar right next door. But any drink you want, whether you want it at the bar or delivered to your table by your wait staff, it's just going to be fantastic. So that's good. There's no limitation there with regard to what type of drink that you want to wash down your food. So great. Now, let's talk, before we go back to Tim for his last song, let's talk a few minutes. Again, folks, you have a few minutes. If you want to call in, please call in and talk to Chef STEFAN of the new Sazerac. But meanwhile, let's talk about the because we're breathing down our neck. We have less than a week, and right out a week that Thanksgiving's coming, and then after that, a month later, it goes like that, is Christmas. So let's first talk about Thanksgiving. What are you doing at the hotel, and specifically at the Sazerac?
We're going to have a big brunch, the Thanksgiving brunch traditionally, and we're going to do 5 different action stations there, and that is actually going to be in the Waldorf Astoria ballroom, what is one of the bigger ballrooms, but it's beautiful. There's sculptures in it. It's just great redone. And really brings you in the old days back.
That's up on the mezzanine, is that what that is?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
I hadn't been in it in years, so I wouldn't remember. But you need to be able to handle much larger venues for the holidays.
Yes, so we're really planning for a big crowd to give everybody the chance to come to us. And we have, like I mentioned earlier, 5 action stations going. We're going to have a sauté station. We're going to have carving station with different items, with prime rib and lamb and turkey, of course, for Thanksgiving. And then we have sauté stations. We're going to have a sushi station, an omelet station.
Now you're talking.
We have an omelet station. And then we have also dessert station. We're going to do banana foster, sherry jubilee. And we have a full appetizer buffet with also entrees then as well, and bright desserts. So it's going to be really nice, and free-flowing champagne as well.
Oh, wow, I had to throw that in. Wouldn't be brunch if it wasn't.
Nope.
Huh? Okay, so that's Thanksgiving.
That's Thanksgiving, and we're going to do...
And that's going to be all day Thursday?
It's pretty much from 10 to 5.
10 to 5. So, and again, that's going to require reservations, folks.
Yes,
so
that
start
definitely
calling
does.
now. I mean, get away from the TV, start calling now. What's the number there for everyone? Do you know the general number of the hotel that they can reach?
I have to look it up.
Me too. Okay, folks, sorry about that. You know that's bad. It's not even on your menu. Okay, I'm sure you can find it somewhere in the yellow pages, or someone will know the phone. But give them a call and ask for the Sazerac. Make your reservations. Real quick, just a quick preview. How will the Christmas Sazerac or Waldorf Astoria be different than the
We're going to do some adjustments with the action station, but it's pretty much a duplicate. But just we have a suckling pig on Christmas on the menu for the carving station, but we will have. We're going to have 5 action stations again, and full loaded for everybody something. Now, will there be a kids station? We're going to do specialty things for kids. We're going to macaroni and cheese, pizza. So most of the time we catch the adults going there, but no. But we want to make sure that you bring your families, and it's family holiday, especially Thanksgiving. Yeah. Absolutely. Then
now, will there be? And I hate to ask you this because I'm putting you on the spot, but will there be any live music for those events?
Yes.
Tim's group is.
No, his band is going to.
His band, the big band he talked about, the full band.
Not the full band, but.
Well, he'll tell us. He'll tell us when he comes on. He's coming on momentarily. Okay, folks. So, and it's not too early to go ahead and do your Christmas. Now, on the next day, the Friday after, it's back to the regular menus.
Back to and Sazerac is still open. We have a special.
Come on.
This is from our team cooked in Waldorf Astoria ballroom. But we have as well.
I thought you were closing the Sazerac for that.
No.
So Sazerac will be open that day.
We have a Thanksgiving special at Sazerac. We have a turkey plate in Sazerac, and then on Christmas we have a prime rib in Sazerac.
Wow!
On Christmas Day, and then Christmas Eve we have a 4-course menu in Sazerac, prefixed, really nice with a choice of entrees. But you're going to love it.
Right. I told Chef, and I'm really trying. I can't commit the hotel or Chef to that, but the only thing we need to bring back to make especially the Christmas time, the old time of the Roosevelt, is when the Sazerac used to, very formalized, used to do the themes. They would do a different ethnic group, and I remember I was telling last time I took my mom before she passed was for the Russian dinner, and with the hotel lobby and that magnificent snowy lobby going right into the continuing that tradition in the South. So we're hoping that he's going to use his own nationality next year and be the demo and bring us a little bit more.
Bratwurst and sauerkraut. Here we go.
Yeah, you can't beat it for Christmas. Okay, folks, we want to thank Chef Stefan Couch from the new
Absolutely.
Sazerac.
Thank you, Bob.
He's just done a wonderful job presenting the stuff to you. Go there and check him out anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. He'll be there. Now we want to go ahead and turn it over to Tim for the last song, and he'll tell us a little bit more elaborate a little bit about that, his band being for those holidays. And keep in tune, and we'll be looking for you at the restaurants. We got to tell you about the dining club next time. We didn't run out of time because it's such a great show. So we'll see you at the holiday restaurants. And Tim, tell us about it.
Okay, Bob, we have a great trumpet player, Clive Wilson, local guy. Actually, he's from England originally, but he's been here for about 40 years. He's going to be playing the brunch for me on Thanksgiving and Christmas. I had booked a festival for Thanksgiving a long time ago in San Diego, so I won't be able to make it. And New Year's Eve, I'm going to have my 7-piece band. As Chef said, we're going to have a 4-course dinner with the champagne and the party favors. That's going to be a lot of fun. And brunch every Sunday. So,
What did we do for the last time?
why don't we do you know what it means to miss New Orleans?
Oh, perfect.